Got a question on a live stream. Does it make sense to buy altcoins right now, knowing that we could be gearing up for the best part of the bull market, but there's also the risk that we go into a bear market right now? And I thought this was a really interesting question. It's very similar to something I'm doing using leverage at a time like this, right? You're basically increasing your risk because we're seeing a pullback. Every other time that we've seen a pullback, this bull run of 20%, it's been a great time to open up leverage positions, like low leverage positions, or to buy altcoins, or to buy Bitcoin, honestly. But the question is, this is typically where we top out, the fourth quarter of the post-halving year. So we could be going into a bear market. So does it make sense to buy something that could fall down 80% at a time like this? I'll be going through that question today in today's video. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this one. Also, if you do want to trade crypto, there's a link underneath the video to BYDeFi. You can start trading in just a few minutes. You don't have to KYC. You don't need a VPN. You don't have to KYC, meaning you don't have to give out a bunch of your personal information. You put in an email, a password, read their terms and conditions, and you can start trading. You can also get up to a $13,000 bonus, and we have a deposit bonus going on right now. This is for everyone that's ever signed up. So we constantly do this, unlike a lot of other exchanges that just give you maybe some unattainable bonus when you're just trying out the platform, seeing if you like it, getting comfortable with it, and then you miss out on that bonus completely. We run these constantly. So people that signed up 2 years ago can get rewarded now just for trading on the platform. So check this out underneath the video. Today's another bloody day in crypto. It seems like Fridays have been pretty rough recently. Over the last 7 days, Bitcoin's down 13%. Ethereum's down 13%, XRP down 20%, Solana down 20%. People are saying this is the worst bull run ever. I think a lot of that is due to Bitcoin dominance still being quite high. Right? It's not like we've seen a true alt season because Bitcoin dominance has been going up relentlessly for the last 2 years, 3 years. And of course, we've had a little bit of a dip since July, but now Bitcoin dominance is going back up. There are a lot of altcoins that people thought were going to pop another 50%, 100%, 500%, and they're still going down, it seems. Right? Bitcoin went up double since the last bull market top, actually less than that. And people are saying that this is the bear market. Like, people are pissed off because we did not get the bull market that we were told about, right? And I totally get why some people are pissed off. I will say, on the channel, we've actually made a lot of money because during this entire time, I was talking about how I was buying Bitcoin, very Bitcoin heavy, and now Bitcoin dominance has gone up. Bitcoin has gone up a lot, even though people don't like to talk about it. Bitcoin has gone up 500% from the bottom. We stopped buying around April of 2024, right around the halving. So even the worst buys that I possibly could have had on the channel that I talked about are still up 66%. But we bought a lot throughout this time. So we're probably up 2-3x, at least average on our portfolio. We've leveraged trade throughout the market and taken a lot of profits. So we've been able to make life-changing amounts of money on that too. But the question isn't, have we done well? The question is, does it make sense to kind of put your hand in the pencil sharpener? Some people would say something else, put something else in the pencil sharpener and buy altcoins right now, because while the market's falling down, it's been a great time to buy Bitcoin whenever we've seen these types of dips, right? Like over the last 5 years, when hasn't it been a great time to buy when you're down 20%? I guess maybe like right here, because you went into a bear market and you lost some value of your portfolio, but if you just held on, you're still up a ton right now. Over the last couple of years, there's never been a bad time to buy when we're down 20% or to go long the market or to buy altcoins. Pretty much everything is up. I mean, of course, if you buy the wrong altcoin, but just generally the crypto market's up a lot over the last couple of years. And really, with focus on Bitcoin, it's been up a great amount every time you buy if it's gone down 20%. So the hard part is this is typically the end of the bull market, this quarter. So a lot of people are calling for the beginning of the bear market. And we could go down further, to be clear. We could go down a lot. Bitcoin has gone down historically nearly 80% in the last 2 or 3 bull runs into the bear market. So it's very possible that we could see a big drop going into a bear market if we really go into a bear market. However, there aren't a lot of reasons to think that we would go into a bear market except for what's happened historically. There aren't any exchanges blowing up. Sure, there's some leverage in the market, but a lot of it's already been wiped out last week. The biggest buyers in the market are companies that have been buying for years, made it throughout the bear market, like MicroStrategy, and BlackRock, the biggest financial institution in the world. We just got approval to have Bitcoin in 401ks. We also have the Fed lowering rates, also stopping quantitative tightening, moving into quantitative easing. Sure, like there are some people that are looking at gold on this historic run and feeling FOMO and like rotating out of crypto, but I don't personally want to buy an asset that's on a historic run for the first time, like in the last couple decades. I guess it went up 70% from 2018 to 2021, but from basically, or 2020, but for 4 years it did nothing. And now people are wanting to buy it when it's up 100% in a year and a half. I don't really want to buy an asset like that that's gone up that much that quickly. So like people are worried because this is historically when we've gone down on Bitcoin, but there's really no catalyst that should push us down into a bear market, right? The market should actually be pretty great for Bitcoin to go up in price. So then people are saying, well, why are we down right now? If everything's great, why is Bitcoin down 13%? Why haven't altcoins popped? Well, Bitcoin's down because there's manipulation. We saw it last Friday, right? The traditional markets were down 2 or 3%. Bitcoin like wicked down $20,000. So there's manipulation happening, but that always is the case. There's always whales and market manipulators and stuff like that. But long term, you zoom out and it's up and to the right. Now, why aren't altcoins up more? Well, I think there are a lot of altcoins that are just crap that no one wants to buy. Like I said this when we saw the ETF approval. I think just in general, not many cryptos are going to do well like in the past cycles. You're not seeing institutional money move, I don't know, Optimism or Plasma or Nexo the same way that you're seeing it move Bitcoin. Like there's a lot of capital that's coming into crypto, that's come into crypto over the last couple of years. And a lot of people just don't want to hold these cryptos because they fall down a lot. There's a lot of work trying to pay attention to them when you can just buy Bitcoin and you've actually gotten better returns. So like with my higher risk portion of my portfolio, I have a lot less in altcoins than I did last cycle. When I want to go more risk on, I'll leverage trade with 2, 3, 5x Bitcoin rather than going into altcoins. And we've been able to make a lot of money throughout the cycle, take a lot of profits doing that. Now back to the question at hand. Does it make sense to buy altcoins right now? Because while there are a lot of crappy ones, maybe you want to buy Ethereum. It's down 16% in the last 30 days. And there's maybe a lot of institutional adoption. Staking is going to happen on the ETF soon, bring a lot of capital into Ethereum. Solana, has done really well this cycle, even though it hasn't done much in the last year or so. Maybe you want to buy XRP, and like you look at these top altcoins, and some of them will do well. So does it make sense to buy altcoins because they haven't had their time in the sun yet? Like, is this the best time to buy altcoins? Because we could see the market continue to rally. Everyone goes over to gold. It wrecks people. Retail gets out, and then the whales finally push Bitcoin up into 2026 when the Fed's cutting rates and quantitative easing. Honestly, that would make a lot of sense to me. So we could see an altcoin season then. Honestly, if you're looking at this, wondering if you should do this, I think it comes down to you personally. Not necessarily what's going to happen in the future, but can you actually do this based on your own financials, right? Like this is what I said on the live stream. Whether you're talking about increasing leverage or buying altcoins right now, I think it really comes down to you because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Like we all have access to the same information for the most part. There's no way of knowing what's going to happen for sure. But I think there's actually a pretty good risk reward in buying some of the top altcoins or going long Bitcoin, right? Like 2, 3x leverage, 5x leverage, something like that. Right now, I think there's a pretty good risk because yes, we could be going into a bear market, but again, there aren't a lot of reasons besides the price going down to think we're going into a bear market right now. Again, I guess historically that's happened, but it's happened later in the quarter and everything looks pretty good outside of crypto right now. Asset prices are near all-time highs. The question is like, are you set up well financially? Or are you doing this as a revenge trade? If you're someone that lost 90% of your crypto last Friday and you're like, hey, I'm just going to 5x or 10x leverage trade Ethereum, Solana, and XRP just to try and make my money back, I don't think that's a good idea, to be clear. Like, I think you're doing it for the wrong reasons, and you're probably, like, it's jading how you're thinking about this. However, if you're doing this because you think that it's a good opportunity and you're okay if the money burns, then it might be a good opportunity for you. Like, if you are someone that has, I don't know, a decent net worth, you're early on in your career, or, you know, maybe if you're even later on, but you're diversified, you're not just 100% crypto, and you didn't just lose everything in the last couple of weeks, then yeah, like if you have an extra $5,000, a grand, 50 grand or something like that, and you're worth enough that this isn't really money that you need, it's just like good risk reward money, then yeah, throw it at the market. I think that was actually a pretty decent tip to do that. But I could be wrong. Like, let's say there's a 30% chance we go into a bear market. You have to be ready for that money just to go away. So right now, like, I'm still leverage trading. I added more to positions today because I think this is actually a pretty decent dip. But also, this isn't money that I'll sweat over for a minute if I lose it. Right? And I realize we're all in different situations, and that might be privileged to say. But I diversified a lot over the last year and a half into equities, real estate, cash. Like, I'm fine if we go into a bear market for 3 years. I'm fine. I'll continue to accumulate crypto. But not everyone's set up like that. Some people have been buying altcoins, have been 50x leverage trading, even though I say that I'm using low leverage. Or like, they're just spending a lot. I don't know. If you're using a credit card to fund these buys on Bitcoin, or like you're using a credit card and going into credit card debt over here, but you're like, I have some extra cash from some side job. Like, don't do that. Like, it's risky now to put money into crypto in one sense, because we could go into a bear market. Like, historically, it would make perfect sense around this quarter that we would go into a bear market. But also, on the other hand, like, this is a pretty good risk reward because everything else is pumping to new all-time highs. The economy looks good. The Fed's lowering rates, and it wouldn't surprise anyone, I think, if a year from now we're higher. Like, everyone will be like, yeah, obviously you should have bought the dip when Bitcoin went down to 100,000 because it's 170,000 now. Everything was good. The price was just going down. But also, if we go into a bear market, everyone's going to be saying, well, of course we're going into a bear market. Like, everything was overpriced. And obviously, like, we had gone up from $16,000 Bitcoin to 126. Like, obviously we're going to take a dip, especially because of what quarter it was. Obviously, you should have been selling everything. The question is, can you live with the consequences of buying right now or selling right now? Like, I'm not selling any of my Bitcoin. I'm not selling my altcoins right now. I don't need to. Right? I'm holding out for another run before selling the altcoins. Right? That could be a mistake, but also the altcoins I have are large cap altcoins that will be here for a long time. So I would still be positioning myself into quality assets, not just some crap meme coin or AI coin or something like that. Like, still position yourself in cryptos that will be here if we take a 20% dip, and realize that if you are buying right now, you could be getting really good returns, like fantastic buying in prices, or you could go down another 50, 60%. And if you're comfortable with that risk, then great. It's probably a good time to dollar cost average to buy a little bit. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. I really do appreciate you all watching. If you do want to trade, like I said, I am adding to some positions today. Check out the link underneath the video to BYDeFi. That was a great time to start trading in my mind. I know some people will say, no, it's a stupid time to be trading because we're down 20%. Well, this is when I've gotten the best returns in trading, is when we are down this much and I open positions when we're around support levels. But of course, approach at your own risk. I appreciate it. I'll see y'all.